The reason that I decided not to use my mobile phone for at least an hour after waking up and before sleeping is because I never felt that much productive. I could do my work, but that work wouldn't be wholehearted. My energy wouldn't be 100%. It also led me to think that human beings are often constantly looking at their mobile screens. For me, for me, it was quite true. I was constantly consuming content. Most of the time, it was passive. I didn't consume content actively, as in focusing on carefully selected tasks that I would do online. Instead, I would watch videos similar to how we consume junk food. I had noticed this pattern before. I even tried to eliminate this pattern, but I failed many times. The more I tried to cut my mobile phone use, the stronger the pull became to use my phone. It fired back. I was also in this phase that wherever I looked, people were constantly looking at their mobile phones. This device had replaced the real social interaction. At least that was what I had observed. For most of them, I was no different. If our energy throughout the day constitutes our well being, I found that we have accepted this state where it has become normal for us if our energy is getting drained. I wanted to get rid of this constant passive consumption. It was like my battery was going fast. I also thought that it was the result of always being connected to the internet, getting to know the whole wide world, except yourself. It's a strange irony, but I knew that I couldn't go cold turkey on this because the reality was I did go cold turkey on this thing that I wanted to get rid of, that I wanted to practice, not looking at my mobile phone constantly, but I had often ended up failing and consuming more. By the end of the day, I would feel tired. And when it came to actual sleep, I wouldn't go to sleep properly. This would result in me getting up late, not like 11 a.m. or 12 a.m., but around like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. For some of you, this might sound quite early, but as an author, I had developed this pattern, this habit, that when I was writing my book, I would usually wake up around 5 a.m. And this schedule began during the pandemic. It was also the time I understood the importance of life. It wasn't like I didn't before. I did, but the pandemic was like an exclamation mark, highlighting why life is so precious. Even though it made me wake up at around 5 a.m., but the schedule, month after month, was getting broken. And in this period, the period of change, that passive consumption of videos was also subtly getting added to my routine. Instead of using the internet as a platform to build skills, it became a place for distraction. I began thinking to myself, when was the last time you felt solitude? When was the last time you were alone with your thoughts? It also made me think about prioritization, that it matters when you watch videos. This back and forth between my head down while looking at the videos and watching the world around me, it was really hard. It's not like I've solved this problem from its core, but the more I practice it, the more I'm able to live without it. That's why, to become flexible at it, I began this practice of not looking at my mobile phone after waking up for an hour and before I would go to sleep. As an author and as a freelancer, this is very hard for me. Still, there is an urge when I wake up to look at my mobile phone to see if there are any notifications from my clients or if they need any help. The same goes before I go to sleep. I think that these small urges are important to fight. I think giving yourself an hour of gap of not looking at your mobile phone before you wake up and after you go to sleep is a bridge that minimizes your passive consumption of you looking at your screen. It can be you watching videos or scrolling through feeds on your social media platforms. Sometimes I also think that these these social media platforms. Whenever you check your accounts there, it's like you are opening a fridge. You know what's there, but you still check it. uh, I had read this somewhere, but I think you should be aware. You should be aware of these addictive behaviors that seem to be easy at the moment. That's why I'm learning. That's what I'm learning by practicing, not watching. By practicing, you know, not looking at the mobile phone before I wake up and before I go to sleep. I also think that doing this practice is crucial, and this has enabled me to value sleep. At first, I didn't know what to do after waking up and not looking at my mobile phone. This also made me think that we hurry when we are, let me put this more elegantly, when I had started to, add this routine into my habit, trying to add this routine into my habit, I wasn't able to do it. I always had this urge to just see what's there on my screen. And this also made me think that when we go to bathroom early in the morning, our mind are constantly thinking when we are going to check our mobile phones. It was very true for me, and this realization also baffled me. Pooping without any distractions is an art these days. This might sound weird, but it's important to give attention to normal human activities. At the end of the day, we all are humans, irrespective of our culture. This practice of not looking at my mobile phone before sleep and after waking up also made me realize that the internet is not a bad place. It's a perception that is constantly built or constructed by we constantly engaging with our screens. Is that the real world? Is this how we judge the real world while we don't even properly know ourselves? Please let me know your thoughts and take care.